today that this is the most relaxed I've been in the course of many inaugurations I've watched, because I'm not responsible for it. But I can tell you that when I was in the government, I had white knuckles because of the nature of the threats. But it's so much more difficult today because of what we have seen, not just over the last 2 weeks, but that has riveted our attention, but because of this growth in polarization in the United States and domestic violence and white supremacist groups. So I know, looking forward, that the members of the Biden team who have been nominated or have been appointed are now moving in laser-like fashion to try to uncover as much as they can about what looks very similar to insurgency movements that we've seen overseas, where they germinate in different parts of the country and they gain strength, and it brings together an unholy alliance frequently of religious extremists, authoritarians, fascists, bigots, racists, nativists, even libertarians. And unfortunately, I think there has been this momentum that has been generated as a result of, unfortunately, the demagogic rhetoric of people that's just departed government, but also those who continue in the halls of Congress. And so I really do think that the law enforcement, Homeland Security, intelligence, and even the defense officials are doing everything possible to root out what seems to be a very, very serious and insidious threat to our democracy and our republic.
I want to read you...
Shalom.
All right, Shalom. I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashem Kakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And you just got to see the clip in which they're rolling out the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2021, which is one of the executive orders that Sleepy Creepy Joe, signed within a few days of office. All right, and this is the act, and it says the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2021, which strengthened the federal government's efforts to prevent, report on, respond to, and investigate acts of domestic terrorism by authorizing offices dedicated to combating this threat, requiring these offices to regularly assess this threat, and providing and training. All right. So, this is pretty much the dragon. All right, he's coming down with great wrath, as the scriptures forewarned you. Us, and starting with our elder apostles on down. We've been saying that this time would actually come where there's going to be a great persecution against the men of the Lord. Because, when you take in consideration what we do out there on the highways and byways and the message that we're pushing, this is considered a radical, revolutionary thing. Because we're not speaking in Esau's favor. We're not helping to push his New World agenda. We're telling you to repent and turn back to the Heavenly Father, the Creator, because He's your King. He's, your Savior. He's your God. All right, and not Esau, who's trying to, put himself on the seat of the Most High. All right, we're telling you that there's going to be a kingdom that's going to be ushered in. All right, that's going to result in the dethronement of Esau's power structure. So these words are threatening in the eyes of the powers that be. You see? So, this right here is just another roundabout way of, targeting the righteous. As it is written, let's go to real quick. And let's go to Psalms 37 and 14. Really, I should start at 12, which the brother actually, put it into production, the actual verse. Psalms 37 and 12, it says, "The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming." And his day is coming. That's why his days are shortened. All right. The Lord is making moves on him while he's trying to make his move against the Lord's chosen. Okay. It says, "The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation." All right, and we what we speaking is the things of righteousness, because we're speaking truth. We're speaking the words of the Heavenly Father. All right, his words, his judgments, his statutes. Those are righteous. And Esau, he's opposed to that because of his nature of being the wicked. All right, let favor be shown unto the wicked in the land of uprightness. They will not learn righteousness. All right. So he's opposed to the upright conversation. He hates, he detests it, man. Hey, it even says that in let me get Proverbs real quick. I think it's Proverbs 29. And let me jump down. Yep. This Proverbs 29 and 27. It says, an unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright is in the way is abomination to the wicked. All right. So our cause, we represent everything that's in opposition to what Esau is on. So it makes perfect sense that he would try to figure out ways, to conspire and plot to take away or to take down those who are in opposition to his position, which is to reign on the top of the planet Earth in all manner of wickedness and evil, where there's just nothing but lawlessness. All right, where everybody basically worship the spiritual demon Satan, in which the spiritual demon Satan has a physical counterpart, which happens to be Esau Edom. This is that battle between the godly versus the ungodly, the sinner, all right, versus the godly, man. So anyway, basically what's going on is, he's painting a narrative that anybody that has a belief system that's in opposition to the establishment tend to have tendencies to be a violent individual. That's the narrative that they're putting out there. They're programming the minds of the people that, hey, be alert, be aware. If you have a group of men, that are not bound to the image of the beast, all right, they're not for our propaganda, and they're on the opposition. They're exposing our wicked agenda, in which they call that conspiracy. They call it conspiracy theories. So if you believe in conspiracy theories, you have a tendency of being violent. You have the potential to incite rebellion. And right now he's just going after the so-called white supremacists, but we already know he's gonna go down the list. It ain't gonna just start with it ain't gonna just end with so-called white supremacist groups. No, they're gonna go down the list, man. We're not ignorant to Satan's devices. Because when this devil is getting called out, because everything is coming out on this man. It tells you in Obadiah, how are the things of Esau searched out, and his hidden things sought out. He's being constantly exposed on a daily basis. The Lord said that the man of sin would be revealed. All right, the heavens is revealing his iniquity, and the earth is coming against him. Job 20 and 27. So he's on the defensive right now. Somebody that's on the defensive, they gotta basically point the finger. They gotta throw the ball back in your court, so to speak. Basically, what they do is they project the things that they're guilty of doing, that they're exposed of doing. They're gonna try to project that onto someone else and lay the blame upon you. And that's what Esau is doing, because it's quite interesting that a terrorist would label other people terrorists. All right, and try to crack down upon them and try to prevent them. But your whole society was built on terrorism. What do you call what you did to the so-called natives when you came over here? Or what about when you brought the slaves of the Southern Kingdom over here and what you did to them? What would you call that, man? What would you call the lynchings that took place? which you did it as an act of terror to the so-called black communities so that they would be intimidated and in fear of you. You know, what would you call that, man? When you came into our neighborhoods, into our communities, and would bomb us, you would have little mobs that you would, send into our communities, and burn down houses with Jake families in them. You did a lot of terrorizing, man. Even to this very day, your police force, they're terrorists. Now you want to come up with a Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act. Well, does this apply to your law enforcement? That's total hypocrisy. But we know this is what This the devil. He's on his job. This is what he does. It says the accuser of our brethren is cast down, and he's being cast down. So he's in accuser mode right now, man. All right. And a matter of fact, let me go to. Let's go to Sirach 11 real quick. And we know that it's going to trickle down to the so-called what they call black extremists, or they call us fringe groups, so on and so forth. Which we know that's subtly they're at the Israelites. Now, when this whole thing about pedophilia and sex trafficking, child molestation, a lot of Edomites in Hollywood, a lot of these directors and CEOs and politicians and priests, they were all being found out for their pedophilia, mass child molestation charges. Then out of nowhere, R. Kelly and Bill Cosby becomes the face of this whole thing. Well, all you saw in the media was just society crucifying and tearing down the so-called black prominent men, or what you called celebrities, all right, or esteemed men among our people. They was getting tore up on mainstream media, man. Documentaries was being made. So you already know if they're doing what they're doing to these Edomite nationalist supremacist groups out there. What makes you think that they're not going to go the same route with Jake? He's finding any little reason to lay blame upon us. And that's what he's going to try to do. Because he's in accuser mode. That's what a devil do. What does the word devil mean? Going back to Diablos, it means false accuser or slanderer. Okay? So let's go to Sirach 11. And let's jump down. This is Sirach 11. In verse 30, it says, like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud. And like as a spy watcheth he for thy fall. Meaning he's watching for anything that he can catch you in. All right, to try to get intel. That's why dealing with this particular bill, they're going to investigate. What do you think they mean by investigating? I mean, they're going to use intelligence to try to spy upon you. To see if you're really that threat. And you already know they're going to, review the videos of the brothers out there on the highways and byways and speaking, these scriptures, in which the scriptures go into, judgment. It goes into vengeance, recompense. And then they'll take, those messages, which is clearly biblical based on prophecy, and they're going to say, see, look, they have the tendencies of inciting people to do violence. They're talking about recompense, So they're basically going to say, we tend to be a violent group, or we have the tendencies, and then they're going to bring out the Peter Moses and what was the Jake and his woman, where they carried out this little attack on a kosher store a couple years back, and they tried to blame that on us. You know, little incidents here and there that took place. And of course, you had guys like Vocab, which I always say that guy might be Haman in the reincarnation. He, was making sure he brought up all these different instances to try to say that, our message or the teachings that we're teaching is the cause of men, doing or carrying out violent acts against people. Basically calling us in a roundabout way terrorists, or what we're teaching incites terrorism. That's what they're gonna do, and that's how crafty this devil is, man. Because he's a serpent. You see, and I wouldn't be surprised if Vocab, while he's on his little hiatus, he's probably gathering more intel. He's probably in the background viewing every Facebook profile, Instagram. He's looking for everything, and he's probably going to compile it all together, and he'll have everything ready for these devils, man. Okay, and I'm gonna read about what Haman did, because basically that's what happened. He was trying to tell Ahasuerus or Xerxes that we have a potential to carry out terrorism, within the land. That their ways are offensive. They're in opposition to us. You see, he was trying to paint that picture, man, to get everybody to think that we would, there was something brewing, like we were gonna rise up and rebel, against the Persian Empire. That was just Haman with his natural hatred, going back to his father Esau, Cain. He was trying to basically line us up so he can get us slaughtered. And that's basically what Esau is going to try to do with these roundabout ways, which he's going to, frame mischief by law. And that's what he does. He signed it all into law, man. All right. The scripture call it unrighteous decrees, wherein they write grievousness which they prescribe. Okay, so let me go back and we read again. It says, like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the proud, and like as a spy watcheth he for thy fall, for he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil. So the good things that we're doing, which this is a good work, which will we do, he's going to try to turn it into evil. It's going to become an evil report among the masses of the people. All right, to get everybody to be in opposition to us, to where, once enough propaganda go out, because you already see that these people are eating up the propaganda on this whole 1984 scare, in which Esau is doing a good job in, mind fucking these people while he's taking away their freedoms and liberties, and then they're not seeing what this devil is doing. But they're gonna, just the same way they buying into this and they're in fear. Esau is gonna put the narrative out there that, hey, watch for these guys, and try to turn what we're doing as a good act into something evil. And people are gonna be like, you know what? I never agree with those guys. Something is up. Y'all right. And start coming against us and even giving us up, man. So we have to be prepared for that. The Lord said that would happen. It says, and in things worthy blame upon thee. You see that? So they're going to try to lay blame. And what does it mean to accuse? Accuse definition. And it says charge someone with an offense or crime. Down here it says claim that someone has done something wrong. Blame for. Okay? Lay the blame on someone for. All right? Impute blame to. So they're going to lay blame upon us. But guess what? We're blameless. As long as we walk in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and do what's needful of us, We're blameless, man. So basically, we're gonna have to suffer as followers of the anointed, okay? Because they can't get us on murder, or we out there plotting to rob people and vandalize and do this and do that. You know. Now, if you go down for evil doing, then that's on you. That whole neighborhood watch spirit. Let's mount up with weapons and let's do this and do that. Hey, well, you giving Esau ammunition. You're giving him more reasons to accuse you. But the Lord, he pretty much built us up, and he, taught us right, man. I send you in the midst of wolves, but be ye wise as serpent and harmless as doves, man. Agreeing with the adversary quickly. All right, and the scriptures tell you, we're not to do anything that the ministry be not blamed, because the Lord is going to justify His elect. They are going to be justified. Who shall lay charge to His very elect? But we know that He's going to, try to link everything all together, just like they've been doing, trying to link the Hebrew Israelite movement to Islam. We have nothing to do with Islam. Two total different belief systems. Where we have certain similar principles, because really, the religion of Islam is based upon the Quran, which is basically a carbon copy, or should I say, I'm trying to think of the word. Basically, it goes off of the Bible, man. They get their principles based off of what they call an Abrahamic religion, which is based off the law, statutes, commandments written in the scriptures. All right, so that's what we have in common. But as far as our belief system and the way we carry ourselves and things of that nature, we're different. But this devil will find a way to accuse us and link everything all together. And that's this devil, all right, coming down with that great wrath. All right. So let me go from there to Isaiah 20 and 21. Matter of fact, we start at verse 20. Isaiah 29:20 says, "For the terrible one is brought to naught. The devil is cast down, right? And the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off." That spy, right? That make a man an offender for a word. Okay, trying to turn you into a demon. I try to stick something to you to make you a villain in the eyes of the public, to ostracize you. That's what they'll do. All right, that make a man an offender for a word, because we speak this word, and this word is going to offend people. All right, you see how the LGBT, they powering up right now, because they another one of their saviors, was elected. And now, he's going to sign more legislation to keep them protected. So when we come out and we speak that this is wickedness, of course they're going to say, we're being extremists, we're being radical, we're being a bigot. You heard all those terminologies that Edomite was saying. So it says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. So that's basically them setting us up so that we won't be able to go out there and continue to speak upright. These laws are basically being set in place as a snare for us, that we can't go out there and continue to do the work, because they're going to persecute us. It says, "And turn aside the just for a thing of naught." Because they want to get rid of us, because we've been a thorn in this devil's side for far long now. Okay, he's mutilated through the spirit. We've been hewing his ass down, All right, with the word of the Most High, because the word cuts as a like a two-edged sword. It's quick and powerful, and he's been feeling it, man. Okay, so he's gonna come with that wrath, and he's gonna come with that great flood again. It happened back then. It's gonna happen again. There's nothing new under the sun. All right, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens down the line. This could very well be the year, man. Because once they come against us, the Lord said He's gonna lift up that standard. That's how we're gonna know that we're that close. Okay. So let me go from there, because I mentioned Haman, and Haman was trying to lay blame on the Israelites. So let's go to the edition of Esther, in which that's the spirit, because come tonight, this evening, it's going to be Purim, the feast of Purim. Okay, and you can go and read the book of Esther, to go into the events that led up to that. This devil was trying to get us exterminated, man. But the Lord, through His tender mercy, and He raised up, vessels that was used to deliver us out of that situation. That's why to this day we keep that feast. All right, Mordecai and his niece Esther. Okay, let's go to editions of Esther, the 13th chapter, and I'll start at verse. I guess I'll start at the top. It says, "The copy of the letters was this: The great king Artaxerxes writeth these things to the princes and governors that are under him from India unto Ethiopia, in 127 provinces. After that I became lord over many nations, and had dominion over the whole world, not lifted up with presumption of my authority, but carrying myself always with equity and mildness. I propose to settle my subjects continually in a quiet life, and making my kingdom peaceable, and open for passage to the utmost coast, to renew peace, which is desired of all men. Now when I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Haman, which he was a Amalekite, Agagite, which goes back to Amalek, which he was our adversary. Okay, the devil, Satan. It says that excelled in wisdom among us, and was approved for his constant goodwill and steadfast fidelity, and had the honor of the second place in the kingdom. He was in second in command, and he was in which he didn't understand. Prior to Mordecai and Esther exposing him, that this dude was plotting to take him down, get him taken down, so he can sit in his seat. That's Sirach, the 12th chapter, man. Set him not by thee, lest he seek to take thy seat. And that's what Haman was going to do to Xerxes, man. Okay, but he was also going to use his position to try to get rid of Israel. All right, which was predominantly Judah at the time. It says, declared unto us that in all nations throughout the world there was scattered a certain malicious people. So that's how they was painting us. Here it is, we're in captivity. We're trying to, build our, we was about to try to build our temple up. We're minding our own business. We still adhered ourselves to the authority of the Persian rule. And here it is, we were being painted as a malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations, and continually despised the commandments of the kings, so as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward. So they were saying that basically we were a disruption in their enterprise. This thing of ours that we're a part of, this devil definitely feel the same way about us. That basically we're in their way. So we need to find a way to try to, get rid of them. And really, because we can't go directly, to them, we got to create some stuff to try to, set them up, which will justify us getting rid of them. And that's how this devil's doing it. Let's go after the white supremacists first, and then we're going to address them. Okay? They might set up some agents, some plants to try to get them to carry out something. All right? And the world will see it, and it'll be linked to us. Hey, this is what they do. This is what they saying in their videos. This is what they out there preaching. And look, this is what they're doing. All right. It says, seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men. You see that? So they're going to lay blame upon us and say that, we're in opposition to, their new world, differing in the strange manner of their laws and evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can that our kingdom may not be firmly established. You see? And that's him being in an accuser mode right there. Therefore have we commanded that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Haman is ordained over the affairs and is next to us, shall all with their wives and children be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies, without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 20th year, the 20th month Adar of this present year. Okay. So, that's the type of picture that Haman was painting about the Jews at the time. So he wanted all of us basically slaughtered, man. We need to prevent this potential terrorism from these people so that we can move along with our agenda, our world order, so to speak. It says that they who of old and now also are malicious may in one day with violence go into the grave, and so ever hereafter cause our affairs to be well settled and without trouble. All right, and then the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord got upon Mordecai, to pretty much, get us out of that snare, man. Using, of course, the favor that Esther had with the king, and she revealed, everything to him, and pretty much, what this devil intended against us, it fell upon him. In other words, the snare that he set for us, that he digged for us, he fell into it. Let me get that in. Let me get it's a lot. Let's go to Psalms, 7th chapter. In verse 15, it says, he made a pit and dig it. And it's like, I'm going to start at 14. I'm going to start at 13. It says, he have also prepared for him the instruments of death. All right. And this is talking about the instruments of the Lord's indignation. All right. The weapon of his indignation, which is going to be those missiles. The Lord's getting that prepared to take this devil out. It says he ordained his arrows against the persecutors. And Esau is our number one persecutor. He's going to persecute the men of the Lord. It's going to be, like it tells you in 2nd Ezra 16th chapter, is going to be insurrection against those that fear the Lord. Right? So they're going to try to hunt us down, man, in one way or another. It says, behold, he travaileth with iniquity and have conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. And that's what, the devil's going to falsely accuse, the men of the Lord that's in upright conversation. It says he made a pit and digged it and is fallen into the ditch which he made. Go and read Esther, and you'll see how that applies to Haman. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. And that's what's going to happen ultimately to Esau. Anything that he intends against us is gonna fall back on him. Okay, all his evil, wicked plots and plans to take us down. He's gonna fall by those same devices, man. All right, so they can come with it, man, and we've already been, for years, speaking of these things. We said that these days would come. Well, hey, here we go, man. All right, they're gonna sign many more laws to try to narrow our ability to be able to go out there and teach and put these videos up. And that pretty much, once that happens, that means that, the family of the word is going to take place. The Lord's basically going to close up shop. Okay? So, it is what it is, man, This devil is coming down with his great wrath. But hey, we're still going to overcome this devil by the blood of the Lamb and by our testimony. All right? He already lost, man. So anyway, this is just my response, to the video that the brother Yashalam did. And go ahead and subscribe to his page. All right, and get the edification, man. All right. Anyway, with that, I'm going to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Until the next lesson, Shalom.